Wednesday, December 11, 2013, Nigerians all over the world woke up to read details of an 18-page letter written by a former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Olusegun Obasanjo, to Nigeria's current president, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, which had been publicly published. Although many felt that the letter ought to have been a private communication between the two men, one a former president, the other a current president, nevertheless, it was now in the public domain. Instructively, Obasanjo is a retired general, a former military head of state who enjoyed the singular benefit of also serving as an elected civilian president. He's also a pioneer and former chairman of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, the party, incidentally, to which Nigeria's current president, Dr. Jonathan, belongs, and under which Dr. Jonathan was elected president in 2011. Obasanjo is considered, rightly or wrongly, to be a mentor of Dr. Jonathan. Among other things, Obasanjo said to Dr. Jonathan, quote, "Nigerians are no fools. They can see, they can hear, they can talk amongst themselves, they can think, they can compare. They keenly watch all actions and deeds that are associated with you. If they cannot believe your words." End of quote. Hello and welcome. This is 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajetumobi. Thank you for joining me on the program today. Now, reactions to that letter have been varied and diverse, from wrong message, wrong messenger, to right message, wrong messenger, and to right message, right messenger. But if we all accept that Goodluck Jonathan was Obasanjo's choice of running mate to the late President Yar'Adua, should Obasanjo not have the right, therefore, to give a pass or fail verdict on Goodluck Jonathan's administration? Or is Obasanjo merely trying to be a kingmaker yet again? So join me after the break. I'm counting down 60 minutes with my four hosts today. Allen Onyema is a lawyer and national chairman, Foundation for Ethnic Harmony in Nigeria. Yerima Shettima is an activist and national president of Arewa Youth Consultative Forum. Yinka Odumaki is the publicity secretary of Afenifere. And Kingsley Kuku is the special advisor to the president on Niger Delta affairs. Well, welcome back. Welcome, Mr. Onyema. Thank you very much for coming on 60 Minutes with me.
Thank you.
I know that you've read the famous 18-page letter. The Speaker of the House, Aminu Tambuwal, with his comments, then the former president of the country with his letter. So I want to take your initial reaction to all these events.
In 2003, the press went after Major General Buhari because Buhari criticized the idea being mooted by the Obasanjo regime then to use the 2003 ID card registration, whatever, for the coming elections of that year.
Yes. So
Buhari went against it and said, look, a lot of people, especially those from the north, may be disenfranchised if you use this system, because a lot of awareness have not been done.
Yes.
That was what the gentleman said.
Yes.
And the press went after him. Oh, Buhari is an ethnic jingoist. Buhari is a religious bigot. Buhari is is against the South. What we did was that I instructed my chairman all over the 36 states, let's go around let's find out exactly what this guy said and how he said it and why he said it.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, we came up with a verdict of not guilty in favor of Buhari. We went and held a world press conference financed solely by us to defend Buhari. We told the world that what the man was saying was that, look, enough awareness has not been created.
Yes.
Therefore, it will be unfair to use the ID card registration of that year to conduct an election that was just a few months away.
Yes.
So, whatever I'm going to say here today,
yes,
I say it out of sheer sense of patriotism, and that is the truth.
Yes.
What has been happening is a dangerous path we are treading, and is uncalled for, is absurd, is ungodly. Obasanjo's letter, when you take the entire gamut of that letter,
yes,
when you go through it, what you could deduce from there is a calculated attempt to mislead this country.
Are you saying none of those allegations are true? Why are some Nigerians supporting Obasanjo, saying, forget the messenger, listen to the message?
We are not saying that at this point in time that all the allegations, but when you look at it, majority of whatever he was saying,
yes,
were things he didn't even, or he did during his own time, or some of the things he was supposed to do during his own time,
yes,
and he didn't even do them, and now he's accusing another person. But let's look at them one after the other, and find out where the present president had erred,
yes,
for him to do that kind of criticism.
Right.
But the question is, if you feel as a former president of this country,
yes,
that the incumbent president has done something wrong,
yes,
the manner, the approach he took, was that approach constructive?
But he said he's written 4 or more letters previously and no acknowledgement whatsoever.
If he had written,
yes,
you and I could deduce from the contents of what Obasanjo wrote to know who may be saying the truth or the other, or the reasons behind what he was writing. We are not saying that people should not speak up.
Yes.
When I've spoken against this government in certain fora before.
Yes.
But criticisms must be constructive. I mean, it is absurd for a former president to toe the line and some of the things he said there.
Okay, let's
because when you look at the letter, there were areas where the Nigerian public was being directly or inadvertently being incited. And when it happens, when people talk about Arab Spring,
yes,
you are indirectly calling for the kind of revolution that has not even paid the Arab people any dividend.
Yes. You are asking for people to pour onto the streets.
You are asking people to pour onto the street because of that shouldn't come from a president of this country, a former president of this country. A former president who had ruled this country on 3 different occasions. He shouldn't. He talked about elections and party politics squabbles.
Yes.
During his own time, we had the worst kind of squabbles. At least, President Jonathan has not asked or sacked Sambo. In the history of democracy, Obasanjo's regime was the first time we saw a president going on television to sack his vice president, who was duly elected by the electorate.
Yes.
Jonathan had not done that,
yes,
but he was complaining about. He was talking about squabbles and conflict within the party.
Yes, anti-party activities.
Anti-party activities. He was accusing the president of who foisted those anti-party activities. When you look at certain activities, like say the G5, the G5 governors, Tambuwa and the rest, Tambuwa's disposition to the presidency is unprecedented. Okay,
let's look at one of the reasons that General Obasanjo gave. This ethnic, he says, the president is guilty of surrounding himself with aides who are not giving him the right advice. Could it be that some aides perhaps prevent this president from having any form of interaction with either the speaker, with either former President Obasanjo, in such a way that when they even send letters, the president doesn't see those letters or doesn't get to even know that certain things like that exist?
I have to say this. Definitely, there's something wrong somewhere. I'm not going to vouch for the president's cabinet.
Right.
I'm not going to vouch for them here. Because I think that cabinet also is not doing what they should be doing for the president.
They're not doing him any favor.
Yes, they're not doing him any favor, not just on the issue of the different conflicts they're having. If his immediate kitchen cabinet is even doing their work, a lot of the things being said about Jonathan
shouldn't be out there.
Yes. Nobody is hearing all the goods the president of this country is doing. All you're hearing, nobody is perfect.
Yes.
All you are hearing is all the ones they trump up or the bad ones they must have done, because they're not perfect.
Yes.
The kitchen cabinet is not doing enough. It could be true that preventing people from
reaching him,
it could not be true.
Yes.
But the one I can say is that the president of this country, President Goodluck Jonathan, does not have the press. Whether we like it or not, the press of this country, he does not have the press of this country. The press of this country is not on his side. And that is a minus for his kitchen cabinet. And people believe what they see, or what they read, or what they hear through the press.
Whether it's true or not.
And they believe it, they buy it wholeheartedly, and it becomes true in their mind. See, I've never seen a president that has been so insulted more than Jonathan. I've never seen. He has been called a kindergarten president. He has been called all manner of names. We should be wary. The president is the embodiment of the country. He is the image of the country.
Yes.
No matter whatever grievances or discontentment we may have in the polity, it is not enough to do certain things we are doing now. And the annoying thing is that most of these name calling, most of these unrestrained statements are coming from elder statesmen.
Yes. Not
even the youth. The youth of this country are not interested in all these things they are doing.
But I've heard many people say to me privately that they've never met a more humble man than this president, a man who really wants the best for Nigeria.
You see, I'll tell you this, Angela, what is happening to Goodluck Jonathan today, if anybody had tried 1/10 of it on Obasanjo, the person might not be here talking today. That is the truth.
Yes.
And some other presidents of this country. This is the only president. I don't care if we are accused of being partisan, but we must speak out the truth. This is the only president of Nigeria that has allowed the institutions to grow instead of being a powerful president.
Yes.
Nigerians are looking for a dictator. Nigerians are looking for a so-called powerful figure as president. No. And that is why the country has been going down the doldrums. The economy has been going down, undeveloped over the years, because we believe in a single powerful person. While the institutions are weak. One man. President Jonathan has allowed people to talk. He has allowed the institutions to operate unhindered. A lot of people would want him to go to EFCC, arrest this man, arrest that man, go to ICPC, arrest that man, hound that man. In the days before, some of these governors will not do what they're doing. The press is painting him as a weak president because he's not going out there hounding people into jails, arresting people.
Behaving like a military president.
Destroying your businesses and all that kind of thing. We are going to miss Jonathan when he goes and another dictator comes.
Do you think the president should respond to Obasanjo's letter?
To be honest with you, I don't think so.
Right.
You don't pay heed to stupidity. You don't pay heed to foolishness at times. You are the president of the country. This man at all times, if you look at him, he rarely responds to anything. He keeps on going, doing what he's doing. Have they ever talked about the good things this president has done? Whether you like it or not, the airports in this country used to look like poultry farm. Today, at least you have a semblance of what an airport should look like, even though we've not gotten there perfectly. Nobody's talking about that. Instead, they will remember that some corruption must have gone in. Why didn't you do it in the last 35 years? They didn't do it. Obasanjo's regime spent billions on power, yet nothing happened. You remember the famous 300 billion on road, and there were no roads during his time. The other day, somebody visited me from Enugu, left Enugu by 7 a.m., by 1 p.m. he was in Lagos. Nobody will tell you about what is happening on Nigerian roads now. You will not hear that. So this is our country. We are not here as a mouthpiece of the president. I've never met the president. I have nothing to do with this federal government, but the truth must be said at all times.
And now on to Yerima Shetima, an activist and national president of Arewa Youth Consultative Forum. So what was your first reaction? What came to your mind?
At first, I was actually dumbfounded. When I had a second thought again, I composed myself. I look at the the content of the letter, and I also consider the integrity of the man who actually wrote the letter. And when I look at the hopes of the present generation, I look at the past, and I also reflect on future, I felt doomed.
Yes.
So when I look at the content of the letter and the stories one after the other, issue of corruption, issue of insecurity, the governance itself. When we talk about corruption, now I look at the Obasanjo administration, because at least I could remember vividly in 1999 when Obasanjo came to office, some of us were still students of struggle, and we were all involved in the struggle. And it's no story that we all followed that government from the beginning to the end of that government. Until after Obasanjo administration, after the 8 years, we see his effort also on the issue of trying to come for the third term.
Yes.
I also consider that, despite the fact that some of us were actually on the trenches to insist that Obasanjo must go after 8 years, we see his effort. One of the allegations was also anti-party issue.
Yes.
So when I look at all those and analyze the whole issue, I now realize that something is wrong.
Yes.
One, on the issue of corruption, of course, Obasanjo government cannot be said to be doing good at all when it comes to the issue of corruption.
Yes.
And when they talk about also witch hunting those who are found wanting in corruption, some of us know what the role he played.
Yes.
Making the EFCC to be more like a watchdog, witch hunting the perceived enemies of that government of Obasanjo, and witch hunting all sorts of people. Then at the end of the day, when you come to talk about corruption, again, I know Obasanjo government is the most corrupt government so far. But now we're talking about corruption. Of course, I'm not in position to sit down on my own personal view to say that this government will not be also accused of being corrupt, because a lot of things had actually happened. But having said that, one would have expected that people with more integrity would have been talking about what Obasanjo is talking. What comes to my mind again, even the APC, the opposition now, goes to see Obasanjo. On what grounds are you seeing Obasanjo for? Now, when you look at the collection of desperation of those politicians, it is obvious that even the sympathy that the ordinary leader would have gotten from Nigerian people, they are losing it. They are even losing it already. Of what important is it to meet Obasanjo?
As a former leader.
As a former leader, former head of state. Angela, I'll be very frank with you. The calamity that befell this country today was as a result of Obasanjo style of leadership.
Well, we'll take a break now. Join me again after the break.
Who knows abi better thing? Abi who no like better thing? All these fine things wey dey see so. Na money government dey take do am now. Abi, as in, it's like, you know, I mean, excuse me, I dey pay my tax. I dey do wetin? I dey pay my tax. Say you don't pay your own tax. Have you pay your tax?
Pay your tax. It's your civic responsibility. It's your duty. It's the law.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, it's 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajetumobi. Some people are saying, let Dr. Jonathan be a statesman. And if coming back in 2015 to contest again will escalate this violence.
Angela, we will not be fair to say Jonathan cannot come back to contest. That's the truth of it. But the truth of the matter is that we should buckle up to ensure that some people are working on script to ensure that they disintegrate the country. Despite the fact that Americans on one hand, they are predicting that maybe 2015 we may just wake up, there will be no Nigeria. The fact still remains that some of us may have to collectively make a lot of sacrifices. The key issue is that what I will ask those who are saying he should not contest, is he not a Nigerian? And if he's a Nigerian, is he not eligible to contest?
Yes.
Is it against the Constitution? And if the Constitution allows him to contest, he should contest. But one thing is that all of us as a people must decide, is he qualified to get our mandate again or not?
Yes.
That will be decided by Nigeria. But I do not share that sentiment with other people who believe, no, he cannot contest.
Yes.
Why? Is it constitutional or is that a threat? We have a government that took a lot of things for granted. Ordinarily, in normal circumstances, Obasanjo couldn't have tolerated this mess he's giving to this government.
But everyone uses that as a plus for Dr. Jonathan, that he's a liberal president, he has a democratic mind, he allows freedom of speech.
But so many people are taking a lot of advantage to make a lot of mockery of him. That's the truth. Nobody is above the law. Obasanjo is not above the law. That's why I give kudos to General Abacha's government that brought this man and Unfortunately, some people just went and just make some arrangement and bring him out from prison and just make him what it is. Now on...
You think Abacha's treatment of Obasanjo
was very right. You cannot undermine somebody in government. You can't undermine power that be. At that particular time, you go ahead to be doing all this mockery. Like what he was doing now is as good as treason. Yeah. Obasanjo should be held for treason. You can't just say such kind of statement. Did you know how many million Nigerians he has worked on their psyche, believing on him, apart from some of us who are so exposed to struggle, who know who Obasanjo is? If you talk about clearly issue of carrot and stick, is it truly what he had applied during his days? Is he saying that we forget so soon about what happened in Zakibiam?
Okay,
is he saying that we forget so easily during his reign when he did another massacre in Odioma? Is he trying to tell us that Jonathan should do the same so that at the end of the day, the international community and other people will now attach so many things to this government and call the government a dictatorship or something?
Okay, but doesn't it surprise you, though, that some people are believing those allegations? Take the case of the Minister for Aviation, for instance. A lot of people still don't understand why she is still a favored member.
I agree on that level. Yes, there was corruption. Yes, this woman needs to explain properly. If found wanting, she must be dealt with decisively. There are a lot of issues apart from that of aviation. There are a lot of issues regarding the person manning even the oil sector. The Minister for Petroleum. Of course. But then, let us also look, I'm not saying I'm justifying the action of these corrupt leaders now, because of course they are corrupt. But let us go to genesis of this whole trouble. If Obasanjo had actually put the record very right, perhaps we couldn't have fallen into what we were going through. In the past 8 years of Obasanjo government, was there any time that you had a Minister for Petroleum? Obasanjo was president of the country. He was the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And at the same time, he was the one manning the ministry for petroleum. Nobody asked for an account of penny from that ministry. So what are we talking about? If there was a corruption, Obasanjo actually laid that template for the whole corruption. And to that extent, we should give the credit to him, whether good or bad. Obasanjo is the genesis of this calamity that befell Nigeria.
Do you think President Jonathan should be replying this letter? Some people say if he does, he's going to keep the story on the front pages.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Angela, in fairness to you, there's no story here. But I would have urged Jonathan to do more than what he's doing. One, he must be very decisive. Two, this government must have more of people orientation.
You think the advisors around Dr. Jonathan...
They're not really doing good to him. That's just the truth. Jonathan as a person, I don't think he has any problem with anybody in Nigeria. But the problem he has is that those cronies around him, those people working, his kitchen cabinet are really not helping the matter.
They're not effective.
They make it not only effective, they are even making more mockery of the government. Some of them were behaving as if they are just local champion coming from their village, found themselves in Abuja in the seat of governance, and they don't even know what to do. In terms of public relationship, they are too poor. In terms of communicating to the society, they are poor. In terms of even buying some progressive idea to move the government to the next level is a problem. And one of the key issues is that in 1998, there was no time where we had any constitutional conference. When Nigeria comes together to make that document called 1999 Conference, and that is the problem I'm having. If you look at the content of that constitution, it has been bugged with a lot of decrees. And that is what makes the president of the country, not Jonathan, any president that found himself in that position will be more stronger than any other institution in the world. In the world. I'm not even talking about Africa, the black race, or even Nigeria now. I'm talking about the world, because if you look at the way the constitution is, it is clear that if you are a president of a Nigeria, you can even make it easy to remove a sitting governor. And that is what has been happening during the Obasanjo government. Obasanjo, how many governors did he remove because of one thing or the other, because they are perceived to be enemies?
You think that constitution had the flavor of military because it was coined by military?
In fact, that was why I say it has been bugged by a lot of decrees. That constitution is being imposed by the Salami Abubakar administration. And some of us were totally against that constitution at the beginning. If other progressive were listening, perhaps we couldn't have found ourselves where we were. But at the end of the day today, we find ourselves in a problem where the constitution issue has become a major threat. Until we address this issue of constitution. Angela, I do not agree with this system. The legitimacy of that document must be put properly, so that it will be on record that sometimes Nigerians sat down and make a constitution that have legitimacy backing, and at the same time everybody agree that it's binding on everybody.
But you see, the thing is, political office holders who have use this constitution now to get into office, you and I know they're not going to change a winning formula. You are already there and you are enjoying this, what we for want of a better word to you, we call a bastardized constitution. If you're benefiting from it, how will you want to change it? You won't. This
is where Nigerian comes. That all of us collectively will have to agree that, yes, that document is faulty. And if the document is faulty, I believe with our strength, if we can do it right, we will force Nigerians. We will force those who claim to represent us. Yes. We will force those who assume themselves into these political offices, be it governor, be it president, be it senator, be it House of Reps, a local government chairman, or even a councillor. Yes. That they must be compelled to do what is right. They are not to do it, because I knew in all over the world there's nowhere governments sit down and allow for sovereign national conference. Yes. I knew it's on record. But then people will have to be determined. Angela, some of us have come a long way. We talk, we behave funny, and there's no amount of threat we've not seen in our lives. Yes. There's no amount of ruggedness we've not seen in the part of government, especially the Obasanjo government, that some of us were even killed.
And now Yinka Odumakin joins me on 60 Minutes. Yinka Odumakin is the publicity secretary of Afenifere. You say that former President Obasanjo has no moral justification. But even if you say that, he has spoken. People are publicly agreeing with him, no matter what we think about the messenger. Isn't that instructive that people are also agreeing now that these are not good times for President Goodluck Jonathan?
Well, I think no patriot will say that things are okay in the country. Right. We have challenges. There are serious issues of governance that we must deal with and address, no doubt about it. For instance, the question of corruption. Many patriots have wondered, I mean, the fact that many officials have been accused of corruption, yes, and nothing has been done about it. Yes. That does not mean to say that corruption is a new thing in Nigeria. Corruption is the foundation of Nigeria. And I remember that in 1984, the late Fela Anikulapo signed a song where I was saying that the Congo hold Shagari, they say President Shagari in thief. Now only Shagari then go hold. What about the other presidents? Yes. I mean, Fela was asking which president we have, we never steal. So corruption has been the foundation of Nigeria. And it's getting more and more impunitous. Yes. But the question, and of course also, the allegation, there's a serious allegation of the fact that people being put on political watch lists, about 1,000 people, and a killer squad is being trained. This is a very weighty and serious allegation. Yes. Although Obasanjo himself was saying that if these allegations are true, which means that perhaps maybe it's dealing in innuendos, in rumors, which is unbefitting of his officer before president. But the president has to address the nation on this, yes, to allay our fears. Because over the years, we have had so many unresolved murders, and quite a lot of them under Obasanjo. Because to date, we have not been told Ukibolage. Yes. His own Attorney General, yes, who was murdered in his office. And Obasanjo was telling us that there was killed by some drug barons. Where is that drug barons today? And only recently, some of those who work closely with some Obasanjo's aides came on air, on Sarah TV, to say that they believe that Obasanjo knows something about how he died. And they give evidence. They said, look, they took 50 million to Bolagi. Few days voice was murdered. Yes. And that the same thing happened when Marshal Harry was to be killed. They took money to him, few days after he was killed. So we need to open up all the investigations to all these murders. And he said also that the president, if we interpret correctly, must have facilitated the release of Mustafa, yes, who was killing people for Abacha. That's also grievous. But we should also not forget that the same Obasanjo took Sergeant Rogers, who actually confessed to killing Kudirat. Yes. He took him back to the villa, and it was alleged that the same killer squad of Abacha was operating under Obasanjo. So, and when Bolagi was in Berry, Wole Soyinka did say, and Obasanjo was sitting, that the murderers are in our midst.
The nest of
killers.
The
nest of killers. So we need to bust that nest of killers. And Obasanjo's allegations now is speaking from knowledge. So we must get to the bottom of this. Obasanjo is an hypocrite. Look at, in the same letter, saying he was accusing Jonathan of anti-party activities. I want Obasanjo to deny that as president of Nigeria, if he did not form 15 political parties,
15.
15 political parties, including the Accord Party, including, I can list 15 political parties. Let one deny it. Obasanjo has selective integrity. When I do it, it is right. When I do it is wrong.
Yes.
Who are his friends when he was governor? He surrounded himself with thugs. Those who burned down Anambra, the Uba brothers, were they not around him? Did he do anything about it? They burned down the whole state. Under Obasanjo, don't forget how government elections results were being announced in Abuja. How he was perverting all the institutions. So Obasanjo has no mouth to talk in this country. For every guy he points, 4 are pointing back at him. It's not, nobody's saying that Jonathan has no issues.
Yeah.
Yes, he has. He must address some of the issues. In fact, and there's nothing new Obasanjo is telling us. Aside from the Nuedos, he was talking about corruption. We have been talking about corruption.
Yes.
That God should do something about corruption. There's nothing new. So, but what he's trying to do now, himself and his gang of generals, all they are trying to do is to put together a coup manifesto. Coup baiting. They want a change of government.
They are laying a foundation.
It's a coup manifesto they are presenting to us.
I'm looking at it from this point. Even if Obasanjo has done all these things that
Yes.
you say,
Yes.
2 days ago he decided, you know, in my old age, I want to be honest now and I want to tell the truth. I want to face reality. I mean, the end may be here soon. I don't want to go and meet my maker not having spoken my truth. Should we throw away all those allegations he made?
People don't know this old fox called Obasanjo. Oh, I would have brought here the sermon he gave at the First Baptist Church in Owu when he came out of prison in 1998. In fact, even Pastor Enoch Adeboye could not have done a greater sermon than that. Every line Obasanjo put a Bible quote passage. It was, in fact, anybody that read that, oh, you said this is a great man of God. After that, he became president of Nigeria for 8 years. What did he do? What morality? He perverted our institutions. He enthroned corruption. He debased every institution. He subverted the constitution. He did everything to assault our morality. So why such a man want to now use the Nigerian crisis to launder himself? And now Nigerians are so gullible that they want to say, oh, yo, Obasanjo. Obasanjo should have his mouth shut forever. He should not be talking in this country. Nigerians should demand accountability from their government. They should insist on the terms of good governance. But we must keep Obasanjo and his group where they belong. They belong to our past. They should have no role in our future or in our, present or in our future.
Yes.
They don't, anytime they come like this, when Obasanjo came like this in 1983, he sentenced us to military rule for the next 16, 17 years. So we must never, and he always have his cycle. You know, he came in 1983, he came in 1993, this 2013, every 3 he's always coming, and Nigeria must be worthy of him. In 79, Obasanjo told Nigerians, when we are going to vote for the president, the best president will not win. And he ensured that Awolowo did not win that election, that he pushed Shagari forward. And in this letter,
yes,
he has now confessed that he worked for Shagari. And by 82, 83, he has started his criticism of Shagari, the way he's doing now.
Yes.
And then some few months after, his colleagues struck by removing Shagari from office. And let me just take my permission to read just an excerpt from this book, Soldiers of Fortune, Nigerian Policies from Buhari to Babangida by Mark Solon, where Babangida years later confessed that Obasanjo had knowledge of the fact that they are going to overthrow Shagari, and in fact they plan to make him head of state in 1984. But he declined, but encouraged them to go ahead with the coup. This was the question that was put to Babangida.
Yes.
Question. So someone said that those of you who ousted Shagari actually wanted to bring back General Obasanjo as head of state in 1984. Is this true? And that's Babangida's answer. I quote him. It is true. But to be very fair to General Obasanjo, he rejected the offer. He said no. He said it would destroy his integrity, that he handed over to Shagari and that it's not right for him to get involved. But he said he was not stopping us from going ahead with the coup. In 1992, around 1991 or 1992, Obasanjo did say nothing to Babangida when he released a damning verdict of Babangida's government, saying the government was lacking in honor, was deficit in integrity, was a government of settlement, it was this and the rest. Very explosive letter. Today is copying the Babangida because he's fighting over corruption.
Yes, but what?
No.
Yes.
What happened that time? Let's not forget what. Immediately this happened. Babangida, who knew that Obasanjo does not do this without phone, rushed water to meet him. Obasanjo was there attacked. One of the cars Babangida took to him. And Babangida came out and said, oh, he's my boss. No problem, no this and the rest. Immediately after that,
yes,
Babangida changed all the GOCs, Chavez chiefs and the rest because he knew what his boss was capable of doing. So this time around, when you look at these guys I'm talking about, the people who have copied, in 1966, they were the lieutenants who killed Aguiyi. By 75, they were the colonels, lieutenant colonels who removed Gowon from power. By 83,
yes,
they have become the brigadiers, the major generals that removed Shagari from government. And between 1999 and now,
yes,
they have been retired generals in charge of our politics, in charge of the economy. They own all the oil blocks. They are the one who will stop Obasanjo from prison. In 1998, they brought him from prison, made him president. They have installed every president since then.
Yes.
And now they see that Nigeria is in crisis. They want to take charge again and give us their own solution so that they can take charge of the future of Nigeria.
They can
and most importantly,
installing.
And most importantly, before the last program, Obasanjo was saying he was condemned in the national conference that Jonathan has proposed to hold. All these guys, their interest is against Nigeria being restructured, and they will do anything, including changing of governments, to ensure that we don't hold the national conference, because they don't want the structure of Nigeria to change for what it is.
Join me again after the break.
My brother, my sister, Tori don't change for we state to Delta State government don't sign wetin Oyibo they call traffic management bill. And wetin e mean be say if you drive yaga yaga or park anyhow for road, you don't buy market be that too. My people, make una know say government don't sit down gidigba to make sure say our road dey free of accident. So if you get here because if them gbab you come tow your motor, abeg no dey o, you go pay fine no matter who you be. Now Delta State Directorate of Transport, they knack on this message.
Welcome back. My concluding moments now on the program. This president publicly said that corruption is not Nigeria's problem, which means that we all will be right in saying that he's soft on corruption. If he doesn't think that corruption is the main problem Nigeria has, he won't be fighting it wholeheartedly. He won't see it around him.
Look, this is why many of us are calling for the structure of Nigeria. The present structure of Nigeria, the very oxygen it breathes is corruption. Like I was singing fella earlier on, that which president Nigeria is not stoning. All of them are thieves. And Obasanjo himself, I think we seem to easily have a short memory in this country. Not to remember that under Obasanjo, Nigeria was voted the most corrupt country in the world. For 2 years. Consistently. You saw when himself and Atiku were fighting. We saw that Atiku brought out about PTDF, all the dedicated accounts, how PTDF became one big slush fund. But Babangida that is copying now, $12.4 billion got all way for. He's missing today, Okibo report. Under him. Under Obasanjo spent $16 billion on power. Not 1 megawatt was generated. When Obasanjo came out of prison in 1998, all that was in his bank account was 20,000 naira. In fact, the first act to his bank in Nota was to take an overdraft of 100,000 naira. How did he come by the 7-star hotel he has built in Abeokuta now? Hilltop Mansion, Presidential Library, the best investment, one of the best private investors in Nigeria today is his own. Where did he get the money? What did he do in 8 years to move from having 20,000 naira to one of the richest men in Africa today?
Do you think the president should respond to that letter?
Well, I think the issues he should respond to there, even if it's not responding directly to Obasanjo.
Yes.
He needs to assure Nigerians of some basic things.
Yes, that there is no list of 1,000
people that have been to be killed, that no snipers have been trained.
Yes.
And that, so he should address those. So he should address those issues, and he should tell Nigerians what he's doing about corruption, and he's not just assuring them. He should do something, because, for instance, I cannot understand why the Odua Gates has not been brought to a closure.
Yes.
It's not, there's no excuse for it.
She's still in office.
Yes, she's still there. I mean, a minister who was just aspiring to be corrupt in Ghana that, oh, was just saying in Accra that
I
until I make $1 million, I plan to make $1 million.
Yes.
She was relieved of her job. Then, if Odua has been found not guilty of this, let the nation be told.
Yes.
If it's guilty of the offense, she should be fired.
Kingsley Kuku is the special advisor to the president on Niger Delta affairs and also the chairman of the Presidential Amnesty Program. One of the most scary allegations in the letter of the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, to Nigeria's current president talks about a political watch list of 1,000 people and training of snipers. And everyone says, even if this president doesn't respond to those allegations, that particular allegation is scary and he must address it. What do you make of that?
Over time, when you serve under a man who has certain principles of integrity and credibility, even if you never had those virtues, you must learn to respect those virtues of the man and keep up with the standard that the man sets. And for me, when he says nobody responds to any matter, I do not want to breach that kind of instruction. It is an order. The president has ordered all aides, all advisors, all assistants, everybody not to respond on this matter. I want to respect that order. I cannot but restrict myself on this matter, even when I want to personally do anything about this. I cannot, because the president knows better. He has the best of security information. He has the best of development information in this country than any former president or any former leader anywhere the person could be. So the president knows why he has ordered all of us not to speak. So we are deaf and dumb on this matter today. However, I really want to live in that, not dealing with that issue at all. I want to state that Nigerians are lucky with this kind of president we have today.
Why do you say that?
We are lucky because under President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, we've never really, like previous other governments, we've never experienced anything like political assassination. We've never experienced political killings as it happened in successive administrations before him. Under certain administrations in this country, we did witness, for us, Niger Delta people, we lost the greatest of our sons. We lost Dikibo, we lost Harry Marshall, we lost so many people. And of course, the Southwest lost Bola Ige and lost so many people.
A former Attorney General.
And to date, nobody has known what happened. Under President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, these things have not happened. And too many times in the past when these things happen, Nigerians, collectively almost, in majority, had pointed accusing fingers to actions from government. We are particularly lucky because we now have a president who doesn't see, even when it's condemnation, criticism that is even destructive, as a reason for him to go after anybody or use instruments of the state to go after anybody. And where he's not even doing that, people are still crying foul that he's using the instrument. But they know the way those who were used to using this instrument were using it. President Jonathan has never done that, and he will not do that from what he gives us as tutorial every day. He believes that by the time he leaves office, and Nigerians are blessed with anybody after him, they will be able to compare what he is and the kind of entrenchment in terms of adherence and compliance to rule of law and respect of human life that he is giving or adding to our democracy. They will compare his own time and whoever is coming and whoever has been before him. So this is a president that is going to be on record. As far as I know, is going to be the most documented Nigerian president with achievements in terms of development, in terms of peaceful coexistence between the ruled and the ruler.
Saturday, October 5, 2013, the former governor of Lagos State arrived from a 3-month medical trip abroad, and this is what he said. The amnesty conceived from inception has been corrupted and hijacked by the president's clique. It is one of Nigeria's drain pipes, a slush fund for political expeditions, and a conduit to siphon money to the boys. End of quote.
I first want to say that, and the one thing, as one from the Southwest, I'm from Ondo State, one thing we don't do, we don't get rude or disrespectful to elders. And the former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a respectable Nigerian and of course one of the leaders of the Southwest. So that automatically transmits to say that he's one of my leaders.
Yes.
I can't be rude to him. I can't be disrespectful to him because of this opinion.
Yes.
It is his opinion. And the Amnesty Office responded to that statement.
Yes.
And like you said, he just returned from medicals and threw that bombshell. And
yes.
nobody can tell what would have influenced that. But what is key to me is that respectable Nigerians and elders like him that have run states and affairs of men for 8 good years and has been a former senator of the Federal Republic, maybe still needs proper enlightenment and education on the activities of the amnesty program. Some of us put the amnesty program together. It wasn't there.
Yes.
He doesn't know about the dream. He's very alien to the principles behind the amnesty program. Maybe he heard that, well, there is so much destruction going on in the Niger Delta, restiveness is on the high in the Niger Delta.
Yeah.
So maybe when government was talking about the need to put together a program to addressing the restiveness, he heard about it. Maybe he didn't even know me at the time, or he didn't hear about my name. At the time he was governor, I was also a legislator, and we put this amnesty program together. No political office holder in this country
to date
did what President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan about the amnesty program. As then sitting vice president, against all advice and odds, all security advice, he flouted all because he believed that the ongoing then military onslaught that was taking lives on both ends, on the side of our people and on the side of the military and the police, was not yielding anything positive for Nigeria. So he moved straight to the creeks, sat in Camp 5. This was how he extracted the commitment for peace from the Niger Delta activists. And because there is so much peace, too many Nigerians have forgotten where we are even coming from. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu must realize the fact that the sitting president of Nigeria today was the then vice president who brought about this peace. Against all security odds again, the late President Yar'Adua acceded to his then vice president, made and signed the proclamation, and gazetted it immediately. Today, the man who brought about it, that was able to convince his then boss, is at the helm of affairs, implementing this program to the benefit of all Nigerians, including Bola Ahmed Tinubu, people like them who have various interests, economic interests all over the country, are benefiting from the peace President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has given to Nigeria. So if he says that it's a drain pipe for boys, which boys? In the recent years, the program is meant for boys and not elders. The program is for 30,000 youths of the Niger Delta. It's not meant for use of all over the country of Nigeria in the entire country. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu must know, Alai Mohammed must know, the opposition must know that the amnesty program is meant for 30,000 youths. And over 17,000 of them are being trained now. Some are still in various vocational programs. What is a drain pipe? It's drain pipe to have even the Nigerian Airways never trained in the number of pilots we are training in this program today. They should go to CAU Oxford, England. Go and see the pilots this program have there. Go to Lufthansa, Germany. In IFP in Paris, we are training people in oil and gas. Schlumberger in Paris, in Melon. When Schlumberger trains you and Shell does not see them, Saipem or the Ajib, all oil companies go after them. We are training people there. Over 30 persons are there. Over 40 are in IFP. We are training people, professional power training programs in generation, distribution, and transmission is taking place by Schneider in Paris. Is it the over 590 students we have in over 50 universities in the UK? How do you call that a drain pipe? Which program under his administration in Lagos State on scholarship sent 500 students to the UK? Only under this program today, we have over 582 students in the United Kingdom. Is it the United States where we have over 100 students in Alabama State University and Alabama A&M? 1,070 students in 5 private universities in this country.
Within Nigeria.
Within Nigeria. This program is a wonderful tree with great and marvelous fruits. So the stones are coming and they are trying to unplug them.
And I was surprised to see in the papers, members of Afenifere pay a courtesy call visit to the president, and he received them. You know,
Angie,
that
let me
event.
tell you. Where else will this president be loved? This president is loved by the Southwest people. I am from the Southwest. Is it in Ondo State? This president will get 90% of votes anytime, any day from the people of Ondo State. Anytime, any day. Is it in Ekiti? Is it in Oyo? For over 30 years,
yes,
every government has been talking about Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Even when their son was there for 8 years, they never had it. But here comes one president, very great in character, diligent in the way he speaks, the way he addresses issues when they are even against him.
Yes.
He saw it as a priority for the Southwest people. And today is delivering 4 lanes aside, 8 lanes altogether. Southwest people love him.
Were you surprised to see Afenifere?
Seeing Afenifere with President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan can never be a surprise because they are progressives. Progressives love him all over the country. Is it the Southeast? In fact, as a matter of fact, we joke in our communities that the president is more of a Southeast man than even South because the Southeast people have taken him as theirs. Sometimes we are battling as Niger Delta people. Do we really own him, or the Southeast people own him?
Yes.
Is it the Southeast that is not going to be loved? It's loved. It's loved by the mass of the people in Nigeria. Is it the North Central? They love this president. Is it the Northwest, Northeast? They love this president. But you see, there are a few persons who have a target. When a man wants what you have,
yes,
he does everything on earth to demonize you. When you construct a road that is so beautiful, it tells you that, yes, the road is beautiful, but it took too long a time.
Yes. Or it costs much more.
Then, no, of course. They know that President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's roads, in terms of construction, in terms of cost per kilometer, is cheaper than what has been before. He's also dealing with Shagamu, Ore, Benin. All these things will come to pass between now and 2015. The mass of Nigerians are dealing with these issues that affect them directly. Yes. Not the propaganda on the pages of newspaper. That a few people who want power by any means necessary are orchestrating lies, constant lies, trying to deceive the people. Yesterday they were progressives. Today they are not progressives. The progressives just met with the president. If they don't like what the president does today, they will condemn him. Yeah. They will criticize it. But with due respect, when the president does anything well, like proclaiming the need for Nigerians to talk, which now, by recommendation, according to what the president was saying when he was receiving the report, can be seen as a national conference.
Yes.
The Southwest people, who for too long a time have been agitating for this talking and dialogue, the real ones who are political, who are not thinking in the wrong realm of politics, have now seen that this president for once has listened to us. So they love him. In the Southwest, if tomorrow there is an election, this president will win. I do not even believe, by tradition in the Southwest, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as he is, as leader of APC, even hates Goodluck Jonathan. He does not. I do not believe that he hates him. He is playing the politics as leader of APC in the country. That is what
opposition party.
For an opposition party. And this is a president that must be commended for allowing great rivalry between a party called an opposition party, now in the realm of APC, and the ruling party. It never happened before. So I do believe that a lot of APC leaders that also love this president. Between now and 2015, you will see that a lot of them will see that the option they think they have is not there at the time.
It's non-existent.
It's non-existent at the time.
And that's it for this week. Don't forget to like 60 Minutes with Angela on Facebook. Alternatively, you can follow me on Twitter, Angela at 60 Minutes. I'm Angela Ajitumobi. I thank you for the pleasure of your company.